Well, we're excited about opening the season with a formidable opponent in SEC West, Mississippi State Bulldogs, man. Very talented team, big, fast, athletic team. We certainly had a chance to compete against these guys last year. We've got tons of respect for Coach Moorhead, Bob Shoop, and Joey Jones as not only coordinators but play callers. I think they've done a great job, and they've got tremendous experience and a history of being successful. It's exciting for our players to be playing in our state. You know, it's a first-class venue, man. It doesn't get any better. Mercedes Superdome, our fans, our community traveling, making the trip, our alumni, all that love this university and this community, all Ragin' Cajuns under one roof, man, for one heck of a weekend. So we look forward to representing this community, representing all the people that love this place, and our kids take that very seriously. And I think, you know, for our team, the question at the beginning of the season is, who are we? I know that we have put this team through the gauntlet. It's been a terrific offseason, but you don't quite know until you're in the fray, you're in the fight, you're in the battle. This will be our first opportunity as a team to really compete and start creating our identity as competitors. What type of energy and enthusiasm is this group going to have? Are we going to keep our poise? Are we going to have the discipline to execute? Do we have purpose? Are we going to play with great togetherness and chemistry? And, you know, the mental toughness that we worked really, really hard on developing, we're going to get a chance to use that tool as we confront adversity throughout the game. We need to focus on our preparation. You know, great preparation develops confidence, and our team certainly is a little bit of a head here, having this being the opener and having a couple extra practices. But, you know, what type of focus we have in meetings and walk through, the self-discipline that we have as players and as staff members throughout the week as we prepare. Attention to detail, practice habits, all of it adds up. You know, I'm big into routine and mastering this routine, Sunday to Saturday. You know, what does that look like for every person in the organization, each player, each coach, any and everyone that's involved with the team relative to their role. So this is our first little run at it here. I've got a great opportunity and a great challenge in front of us. We look forward to it. And with that, we'll take a few questions here.
What's the challenge of preparing for a quarterback like Tommy Stevens when you don't necessarily have a whole bunch of film on him?
Well, we do have film of him from Penn State, you know, and we've watched that. And he's got a history with the head coach and offensive coordinator. So, you know, Coach Moorhead has got an extensive history, an identity as a play caller, what they want to do on offense. I think that this quarterback in particular is a guy who has a great arm talent. You know, he's an accurate passer. Many of the people that were at the Manning camp this past summer felt like he was one of the better kids there. And he's a good athlete. You know, they used him in lots of unique ways when he was at Penn State. So no surprise that he won a very competitive, spirited battle for that position. And I think it'll be a smooth transition because of his history with that system in the past.
Offensively, how can you guys take advantage of their D-line, basically having to start over as well?
Well, sure, I know they graduated quite a few players, but they also have quite a bit of significant playing time coming back at that position. Overall on defense, they'll be very, very talented. The linebacker core in particular is big, fast, athletic, played quite a bit last year. So a lot of the players that they're going to end up being starters and playing a lot for them this year have significant time. You know, they rotated a number of players. They were deep. This is a group of defensive players that was number one in the country in scoring defense and total defense last year. And Coach Shoop, you know, is a very intelligent play caller, coordinator, very well thought out plan that he has, and he presents a number of issues to you.
How different is it, the team in preparation and the team you prepare, and where is it different if it is?
Well, I mean, I think it's the same blueprint. You know, the thing about this game that's a little bit different is it's the opener. You know, so you never know what type of off-season studies, wrinkles that they've added to their base plan. And that'll be part of the game, the chess match within the game, the adjustments, you might say. So I think that all you can do is study the history of each play caller and coordinator and go with what you know. But the personnel is different. Their personnel is going to be different. Our personnel is going to be different. The chemistry, all the work that we've invested since January. So 2 new teams with 2 different identities and teams that are very much a work in progress like most teams this time of year.
They had a pretty unique quarterback last year, skill set wise. I mean, so this is pretty different.
Yeah, I think that this kid is probably, a much more advanced passer. Maybe the kids that they had play quarterback in the past. But they're all big. They're all athletic. Even the young man that finished second in the quarterback competition, he's a very accomplished player. So, this is, we'll see. I'm just like you. I've got 65 plays of Penn State tape to watch, and that's all I got. So, but I think the most important thing is what can we do? What can we control? That's where we're going to spend our time. Not all the what ifs. I think we got to get our line correctly. We've got to get our eyes in the right place. We've got to play with tremendous effort. We've got to communicate at a really high level, and we've got to finish plays. And when given an opportunity, execute in those critical situations.
At this point, what is your biggest concern for your team coming into this opener in regards to positions,
Sure.
players, stuff like that?
Well, it's the youth that we have. There's going to be a number of players that don't have significant experience that are going to play. And as much as we'd like to say, okay, hey, I've watched the guy be consistent, in terms of training camp and where he's at, you don't know until those lights come on. And I think that's where we've got to have great preparation. As a competitor, we all want to play well when the game gets here. It's what we do between now and then to prepare and uncover, turn over every stone, every film routine that we have for the players that are in place, every meeting, every walkthrough, every practice rep, and then being the best teammate you can be, when the bullets start flying in there at 11 o'clock Central, so.
Is there one position on the team that you're kind of focusing on and say, hey, this is our greatest asset, this is our biggest liability at this point?
Well, not that I probably want to comment on. I think that it's kind of like yeah. I don't know that it's smart to expose the chinks in the armor until there's evidence of those. But I'll say this: we have more depth than we've had in the past. We are practicing football at a much more efficient pace and rate than we did at this point last year, for sure. And I think everyone's more comfortable with the routine. We basically have executed an in-season routine the last couple of days, and it's good to roll the ball out on a Thursday practice and feel like your guys kind of know what's coming. So, and we'll get even better at it as we go because we still do have quite a few players that are young.
I know that you guys are just anxious to get somebody different than themselves at this point, but is there a little bit of extra motivation or juice knowing that you played that team a year ago, there are some familiar faces, and you kind of get a second crack at an opponent of that caliber?
Well, no, I think that's in the past. All we're worried about is this year, this matchup, this team. I think if you're an elite competitor, you want to be at your best all the time, including tomorrow at a Tuesday practice. I think that's the approach that we're trying to build here. It's a culture where it doesn't matter who we play or when we play or where we play. You're going to get our best each and every time because that is the expectation. That's our culture. And this is each week will be a little bit different, And I think handling the changes that come with each week is what makes it a fun game.
quarterback has a strong arm, how can defense find their identity playing against someone who's possibly going to be throwing it?
Well, I mean, I think every week we'll play, a different combination of skill players, a different, mixture of quarterbacks, all different types. I mean, I think each and every week's a little bit different, and we'll adjust accordingly.
But you're playing against an SEC opponent, so having that opportunity to play a different conference player, don't you think the experience is kind of different, even though it is going to be different with the other teams? Playing against an SEC person or opponent is going to be a different play style.
I mean, you could say that. We got guys that could play on their team. They probably got some guys, that maybe couldn't play on our team. So we don't look at it that way. I mean, I don't care who we play or where we play. I mean, I think that it's about us controlling what we can control as we prepare. And then we're going to compete. We're going to put the ball down and we're going to cut it loose play after play. And it happens to be a really good opponent, a formidable opponent. We've got tons of respect for. And I think the big thing for us is what type of preparation are we going to have between now and then so that we can play with confidence, we can play fast, we can communicate at a high level in that type of setting, and respond the right way and make the necessary adjustments.
Obviously there are positions that you've made clear that it's going to be a week-to-week battle, but did anyone nail down any positions that were right on the fence in these weekend practices?
I will now. We're going to give you a depth chart here at the end of the week. That'll have a 2 deep. And you'll have a chance to see that. And you'll see probably in pregame and early in the game, you'll get a chance to see who's playing. But we still got a week of practice left. I think that all of those will be determined based off of what we see here in the next couple of days.
Michael Jacquet, did he practice and is he a go?
Well, we're going to announce all the injury deals on Wednesday after practice. We'll give you guys an update on Wednesdays after practice. It'll be basically what we've observed, and where they're at relative to being able to play. But at this point, we don't quite know exactly where probably half a dozen guys are at, So we'll comment on those guys on Wednesday after we watch this week's work.
Levi Lewis, just coming into this game, and you spoke about him at length, but your confidence in him going into this game with his knowledge base versus this time last year and his role this time last year as well.
Yeah, no question. I got a lot of confidence in Levi, partly because of the way he does prepare and practice. The guy's, he's everything you would want in a player and a teammate. His energy, his focus, attention to detail, his coachability. I think he's got great poise. He's disciplined. He's a guy who affects the people around him in a positive way. The guy's relentless, man. That's how I would describe the guy. And I'm proud to be associated with him. And he's got a big arm. He can run. He's a great communicator, and he's very much improved from a year ago. Not only physically, but mentally, he's much more advanced. Certainly one of the hardest worker that we have, if not the hardest working guy we have.
I know last year when you were able to play him in every game, it was about getting that experience. Does it help? And I guess it would help playing against a team like an Alabama, playing against a Mississippi State, playing in a bowl game, like
Sure.
getting prepared for a moment like this. Whereas if
Yeah.
him starting for the first or second time or something.
Yeah, not only the fact that he played in every game last year, but also the fact that he had to prepare each week knowing he was going to play. So I think he's got a great foundation and a bank of knowledge that he went through last year as he prepared, knowing that, hey, look, I'm going to get an opportunity each and every week to run out there and play. And certainly I think that experience made his offseason different. He kind of knows now what to expect. And he probably trained a little bit differently, had a little bit different attitude and a little bit different approach. And I think most players are that way. When they have their first year of significant playing time, they make the most improvement year 1 to year 2 because they know how to use their time. They know how to train. They know the importance, what really matters, and they can spend their time and focus on those things.
From what you
Heading
know,
into week one, game one with clean slate, what's giving this team confidence right now?
Just the probably the body of work. I would say they've been through the process. I mean, what we ask our players to do from January up until this point is not easy, and certainly we begin with the ending in mind. We start in foundation. We work our way through identity program, spring practice. I thought in particular was very effective for us, and then discretionary period in May, the regimen in the summer, training camp. We've checked every box, and this group of players has made drastic improvement. And I think we've improved as a staff, So I think the body of work, knowing that we're sitting here and we worked our butt off. We're prepared for the season. Now we've got a tool belt. We've built all these tools to use. Now we've got to prepare for each individual game. They're all a little bit different. We've got to prepare not only the intangibles that we've built, responding as a competitor with the adversity that comes with the season, but also the schematic things, the conceptually, offense, defense, and special teams, all the things that we've built throughout the offseason, throughout spring ball, summer, training camp. We've got the tool belt ready. Now we got to pick from the right ones, and we got to use those intangibles as competitors when we get there.
what would you say is the strength of them from what you know about them? And I know there's some blind spots being
Yeah.
an opener, but what's the best thing?
Size and speed, I think that they're big, tall, long, they're fast, they're athletic. That's the number one strength that I see.
But no area of the secondary.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very accomplished football team. They've recruited well. They won 8 games last year. They were in every game they were in was a battle. They played the elite teams in that. That SEC West is no joke now. You got to be prepared to play each and every week, and they went through that gauntlet. So, you don't lead the country in scoring defense and total defense unless you've got a pretty good ball squad. So, the players that they have coming back, we played against a lot of them last year. I think we've got a pretty good pulse on who they are. But make no mistake, big, tall, long, fast, athletic, good-looking crew.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank y'all.